The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
It's Primetime Thursday, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He is Dave Sharapan. I'm Matt Perrault. We should be joined by Adam Bjorn today. We don't know for sure. We think that's going to happen today. He's on the schedule to be joining us. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. The same on Twitter X. If you guys are there, well, leave a comment, review, thumb up, hit the thumb, as you guys in the chat like to say. Tell us you're here. We'll acknowledge you. Tomorrow's Roll Call Friday, but it's always good to get an idea where you guys are at here for a Thursday. We replay on Sports Grid TV every night and on SiriusXM channel 159 every night. Dave, happy Thursday. How are you?
Good. Just woke up, big nap. Had to get up early and then another power nap, so I'm able to do this show. And then we'll hopefully watch some baseball and do the late show. But fighting it. It's one of those, we're both trying to get through the next couple days. Doctor's appointments coming up today, tomorrow. Just get right, man. Get right.
Are they going to make me do anything today at the cardiologist? Am I going to have to run today or walk today?
It's not really a run. It's just a hard sprint. If you do, just get on that thing and go. You'd be surprised.
My back just popped. I can't do that today. The MRIs are coming. I had to reschedule the MRIs. The MRI is supposed to be today on my back. So it's ironic that my back this morning, I leaned over and I went, oh no, my back still is problematic. I was like, am I going to have to run at the cardiologist? I was like, that's not going to happen now.
You might. I don't know.
Well, let's see what that. I can probably swiftly walk. I don't think I can run. I think I'll probably.
I mean, anything to get it going. They'll check it.
Put me on a bike.
I got to go in the tube tomorrow. I got to get the thing done. Looking at stuff up here. I don't know. I got to get in that damn tube early in the morning. So I'll be ready for Roll Call Friday. I hate that noise in that tube, but it's what you got to do.
30 minutes? I
don't know.
I got to do back
They
to
tell
back.
you 30. Last time it was at over an hour. I was like, come on.
I got to do 2. For my back, I got to do 2. Lower back and mid back, 30 minutes each, back to back. It was supposed to be today, but the cardiologist appointment superseded that. So we rescheduled that for Monday the 28th. So we're doing Monday the 28th. We have to go in there. I'm not claustrophobic, but I do not like tight spaces. So I'm kind of there. I don't freak out, but I don't like it when I go to a sporting event and I'm in the middle, like the row. I hate being in the middle. I like being on either end. I don't like the middle seat in airplanes. I no longer like window seats on airplanes. I used to love them. Now I hate them. I'm always on the aisle.
You don't like window seats?
No, I'm an aisle guy. I want to get up. I can't be. I hate having to ask somebody, "Hey, can you move? Hey, can you move?"
Let's get this going right off the top because I don't know if Adam's coming. I don't know if Joe's coming. I have no idea. So we're going to ask right at the top.
All right.
You got 3 choices. Put up a poll. See how many people vote. Leave it up for a while. On an airplane.
Yep.
Preferred seat. You get 1. Aisle, middle.
Oh, God. I'm not even putting middle up. No one's going to pick
the
middle seat because no one's picking
Sometimes the middle depends on who's on each side of you can end up being a very interesting conversation.
Are you kidding me? You think people actually go into
10%,
the airport?
10%. 10% will pick the middle. Yeah, 10%. That's the number. I just want to see if you're window, middle, or aisle. Because I don't know. I think window is the favorite, but what do I know? You do get both armrests in the middle, Rosie. See?
You don't get both. You have to fight. You don't
You
get them both.
establish position.
Okay, well then that's until you get arrested.
Hey, I'm sitting in the middle. You lean that way. You lean that way. I'm taking my space. I can leave my
True.
shoulders. I don't have to scrunch them up. I don't know. I'd
Yes, I
rather
would agree with
walk than fly in the middle.
See?
Punch drunk one.
Middle's
Wow.
horrible. Nobody picks middle. No one's picking middle. You might get stuck in the middle. You have no choice. And they're like, hey, by the way, it's like flying Spirit. We don't pick to fly Spirit. You just fly Spirit because you have to fly Spirit. You have no choice in the matter. You just get stuck with it.
AOWN says if you say middle, you're certifiably insane.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I've sat in the middle, not recently, but I had a very memorable flight. Nothing happened. It was just a conversation. But
Yeah.
they were two very young, petite women. I had a lot of space, and that one wouldn't stop talking. Like I learned a lot about a lot of things sitting in the
I told you
middle.
the story that I was on the aisle and the woman I woke up, she was straddling me. I told you that
That's
story.
a different story.
I was like, hello. I was like, what are we doing here?
That's the dangers of the aisle seat.
Or just
When
or
you
just tap me
can't
and say,
sleep.
excuse me.
Nah. Window, you can check out of the flight. You can go to sleep and wake up when you land. On the aisle, you're at the mercy of the people beside you.
True. That is somewhat true. Yes, that is somewhat true. But then chances are I can get up 2 or 3 times. No one has to be bothered. If you're bothering me 2 or 3 times, you're bothering me 2 or 3 times.
Oh.
It's a little more uncomfortable. I don't like bothering people, especially because I fly a lot of overnight red eyes. So if I got to get up and go to the bathroom, I don't want to ask anybody. I'm going to get up and go.
Why don't you just go to the bathroom when you get on the plane before you get on the plane?
It's a 5-hour flight. You don't drink. You don't ever. You don't have to go to the bathroom in 5 hours.
On an overnight plane ride, you get
Yeah.
on the plane and go to sleep. You wake up in a new place.
Yeah, see, I don't sleep like that. I sleep like for an hour or 2. I don't. I can't
man.
sleep the whole flight. I can't do
On
that.
an overnight? Oh, baby.
No. I'll nap 1-2 hours. I can't go out for the whole 4 or 5 hours. I wish I could. I can't. I could take something, it would knock me out, but then I'm a miserable bleep for the rest of the day. I'm just hungover and groggy and just like rah. So I mean, most overnight flights, I'll sleep 2 to 3 hours. I'll sleep about half, and then I'll sleep probably for 3 hours when I get there. I'll take a nap, and that will be pretty much good for the day. I'm a middle guy. Vic, you are a middle guy. There's a guy actually exists. He's a middle guy.
Vic's pretty smart. Vic's here.
Why
all
are
the time.
you
Thank
safe
you for
there?
being here,
What do you mean
Vic.
you're
See?
safe there? What does that mean? You're safe.
You don't really, you're not bothered by anything in the middle. As long as you get that
Sleeping in the
space.
middle seat, blasphemy.
Sleeping in the middle seat is tough because you got to really establish trust on one of the sides of you.
Ooh.
You know, because if you go out and then you're out, you're leaning, person beside you is like, what are you doing?
Well, it's funny because the last time I did it with Madeline, like I was closing my eyes, but Maddie was doing that. Maddie was doing the whole like wave thing, and she was leaning on the guy on the window because I was in the aisle. She was in the middle, and she kept on like falling asleep and then and the guy kept on looking at me like, get your kid off of me. And I was like, she's a 10-year-old girl, man. Like, I was like, at the third time, I'm like, I'm really sorry. She's not meaning to do this. Like, she's just a 10-year-old. Like, calm down. Like, it's not the end of the world. That like her head was just like touching your shoulder for 2 seconds. Like,
Some people
I'm sorry.
aren't kid friendly, man. They don't like that. They don't like anybody touching them. I mean, listen, if you had a strange 10-year-old on your shoulder, you'd be a little bit like, what are you doing, bro?
I don't know. How. I think they probably would laugh about it first and just be like,
you would laugh once, but then you would not laugh the second time.
It looks like it's going to be, we just got an email. It's going to be Joe Brennan. So Joe will join us today at 3:00. So at 3 Eastern. So we'll have Joe on here in a couple minutes. Excellent. So what happened last night? The Dodgers threw their 4th shutout in 5 games, blanking the Mets 8-0. The Dodgers now outscored the Mets and the Padres 30-7 in their last 5 playoff games. I think the offense isn't that big of a surprise, Dave, but how surprised are you at the pitching for this team? I mean, Walker Buehler went 4 innings yesterday, and he was dominant, and they didn't need him. They pulled him, I think, to save him a little bit. But first pitcher in MLB history to throw 90-plus pitches in a postseason start of 4 innings or less, but not give up a run. That's modern baseball right there.
Oh, he danced around pretty good. I mean, a lot of swing and miss stuff. Threw a lot of pitches, and the bullpen's the story. the Dodger bullpen's been crazy good. So I don't know. The argument that the Dodgers don't have any starting pitching kind of holds true, but it doesn't matter because they're scoring enough runs and the other team isn't scoring any.
Mm-hmm.
Any. So, can't beat them, join them. I mean, it's the Dodgers, it looks like. I mean, you listen to a lot of people in the space, it's over. I don't think
No
it's
team.
over.
8-0, 9-0 this postseason. It was 8-0 last night. No team has ever had 3 shutouts of 7 runs plus in a single postseason. We've never seen this, where the offensive production goes this well for an offense in the postseason, and then the pitching staff is equally as dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's historic stuff we're watching with this Dodgers team at the moment.
Well, nobody's watching baseball. They're all watching football anyway. So that's it. I mean, it's on FS1. It's pretty wild.
Did you have a problem with that? People were a little bit surprised that they put the NLCS on FS1 while the Masked Singer was on Fox.
The Masked Singer is highly underrated.
Madeline loves it.
The Masked Singer.
Madeline loves it.
There's more people watching the Masked Singer than watching baseball, bro.
Yep.
And I love baseball, but it's fact. I don't know what to say. Am I surprised? No. I mean, you got to find sports now. They're not on where they used to be on all the time. So I upset about it? No. If I want to watch a game, I find it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Are you surprised by that?
No. I mean, nothing really is surprising me about baseball anymore. I mean, I feel like we're in such a weird time in sports that like the word ever in all time in last 30 years, like it's almost like daily that we're talking about something we've never seen before. So it's like, it's too common right now in terms of like, if you're a sports fan, you're finding sports. If you're not finding sports, and you're not like, it's all so segregated and separated.
It's completely disjointed.
Yeah.
I mean, where you knew the game was on ABC on Monday Night Football. Like now there's 6 streams, there's watch alongs, there's this, there's that. It's very, very, I think it's becoming normal.
Well, okay, let's talk about this then. So the WNBA title, the WNBA finals were last night. That was on ESPN. Big ESPN. Logo 3 from Sabrina hits it. Maybe the biggest shot in Liberty history last night. Like, they're trying to push this. Like, ESPN's trying to make this go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in certain circles that really like this, that are diehard WNBA fans. A lot of them are new. Caitlin Clark has brought a lot of them in. She became the first rookie to be a first team all WNBA. She's incredibly popular with a lot of people. She's not playing. She hasn't been in the playoffs for a while. She made the first round, got bounced. This is interesting to me because I feel like I don't know how many people nationally are really following this through the finals. I mean, are you watching this?
I only watched the highlights.
Right? And I'm only watching it because I have a bet on both teams. I just want to see who wins.
Right.
Like, I'm just flapping. Like, I was bitching last night on Twitter. Shocking. But, like, my thing with YouTube TV is that, like, they keep on saying they're going to bring this the ability to put all 4, you can control what's on your screen in the 4 box.
Yeah.
Because last night, all at the same time, was WNBA, college football, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. And I wanted to watch all 4 at once. I wanted all 4 on my screen at once. So instead I had to, change channels and go back and forth. It was really annoying. So, like, I didn't see the shot until afterwards. I went back. I was like, oh my gosh, I was watching. It was a good game. I was keeping an eye on it, but I wasn't like locked in staring at the WNBA game going like, that's where my attention was. I was slowly following it. So yeah, no, I mean, obviously multiple TVs for sure, CBW, but I don't really do that until like Saturday or Sunday. Like I move TVs around in my house, but I don't do that on a, Wednesday night. So that's why I didn't do that. But I'll be very curious to see what the ratings are going to be up against Major League Baseball, up against the National League Championship Series with Ohtani and the Dodgers and the Mets, because you have 2. It's New York. It's Yankees, Liberty, and Mets, right? You have 3 teams in 3 different leagues, really, playing championship series. So where is the market? Where is New York watching? Where is the country watching?
I don't know. I've been lucky enough to watch sports like this all the time, right? Like, so getting an internship at a TV station at 19
Mhm.
and watching 6 TVs at one time with all the games on appealed to me. And that's the way I watched them. So from that time on, I'm used to it. And then the sportsbook life, you watch all the games, you dial in when they become relevant, when something's happening. If you watch everything, are you watching anything? Like, think about this. If you watch everything, you see everything, but are you watching anything? I don't know. There's a lot of people. I mean, this was a big moment. This was a good game.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
she hit a couple
CBW.
threes.
CBW just put this up. MLB says Game 5 of the National League Divisional Series when the Dodgers and the Padres had 12.9 million viewers in Japan. The average American viewership in America was 7.5. Japan was 12.9. That means 10% of the entire population of Japan watched a game at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning in Japan.
Yeah. Think that guy's big? You know?
By the way,
that guy has an impact?
Well, one of my most fun things we do now is when Joe's in the green room and Joe reacts to the stats I bring up. His reactions are tremendous. He's like, why the does this matter? Like, what do you
Joe's worried about the Tampa Bay New Orleans game.
It's quite fun.
About? I'm just thinking, like, what else are they going to do at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning in Japan? Right? Yeah. Watch Ultraman like we did back in the day. I'm doing all right, guys. How you doing?
Ultraman was great, by the way.
Oh,
that was
right.
Saturday morning cartoons were a lifeblood of learning and fun on Saturday mornings. No,
I loved it. You know, it was Channel 17 in Philadelphia used to play that. The flying robots, you know, Goldar, Silvar, and I don't know, Bronzar, whatever. Yeah. It's funny. So my oldest, my daughter, the college student, she had to find a way to major in Japanese anime, manga, and video gaming. She's so taken up with the culture. And so one day she just asked me, like,
where does she go to school?
She goes to George Mason University here in.
There's a major for that.
No.
Oh, I was like, wait a second, because I'm going to tell my 10-year-old that's where she's going to college.
Right. Oh, but I'll tell you what. So there's a 2-part course that she took. And when she took it, it was like Japanese 324 or whatever, like that. Introduction to anime, manga, and Japanese culture. God, she could have taught that thing. As a matter of fact, apparently she tried to a couple of times because she created a little bit of tension with her professor.
Wow.
When he
what do you
departed
think the
from the canon.
Joe, because his daughter, my daughter, your daughter, all of our daughters are completely transfixed by that culture. Why does that attract them so much? Because my kid is like Japanese and Korean everything, like Japanese every food, Japanese culture, Japanese clothing. Like, I can't figure, like, where did this come from, Madeline? Like, I don't get why a 10-year-old loves this stuff so much.
Well, first of all, she's a 22-year-old, but then I got my youngest daughter, she's 9, she just turned 9 on Monday. But her favorite band to listen to is, oh my God, BTS.
Yep, K-pop.
So, like, I'm getting it from both ends here right now. And, you know, so thank God I have my misfit son in the middle who's into skater culture. I think in our family, the explanation is it's not sports. So, like, because dad is constantly.
Yeah, so we killed it.
You want to talk about, like, every screen, you know, you want to talk about every screen in the house. Yeah. It's like, you know, you walk around the Brennan household at night or on the weekends, and, you know, there's screens in the kitchen. It's like dad can't walk into a room without a screen being on playing a game. And then do you guys use YouTube TV?
I do, yes.
Isn't that the greatest?
It is. I'm mad at it. I'm mad at it, though.
Why?
Like last night, I wanted to watch the NHL, the WNBA, Major League Baseball, and what was it? And college football. I wanted a 4-box to watch all 4 games. They couldn't give me.
You know, it's funny. It does seem less customizable. That was the thing I really loved last year. Is it seems like you could pretty much customize like what your views were going to be. I thought, man,
I got a bot response from YouTube TVs, whatever.
That
saying
was
he-
awesome. You getting the bot response
yes.
was priceless.
The curate, we provide curated 4 picks for people. We take all of our recommendations seriously from our customers. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I still want to be able to pick which 4 games I want to watch. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but I'm sure it's, I doubt it's YouTube.
No, it's contractual.
It's the goddamn leagues.
But it's dumb. I mean, it really
it is dumb. You can just see like Roger Goodell being like, well, if we've got something on, we don't want anything else on.
Right.
We don't want to share a screen with anything. Like WNBA, what's that? Like
fair.
That's my Roger Goodell impression.
It sounds accurate. It's accurate. That's an accurate depiction.
But yeah, you can see how they don't want the streams crossing there. But then, so my rig in my office where I'm sitting right now, you can't see it because I'm on one of the screens. I have 6 monitors in front of me, and each one of them have their own Roku stick. So what YouTube TV can't do for me, I've been doing basically for myself for like the past 5 years or so. So
quick question here, Joe, because we missed you last week. Thursday.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's okay. Thursdays is brought to you by Prime Sports here on BVB, and we appreciate the relationship, partnership, and all this other stuff. But were you scared that I was going to give you crap about the Phillies? Did you duck out of this because of that? Because I love the Phillies. You couldn't help them.
So first of all, it was because I was up to my neck in your backyard with the conference there in Vegas at G2E, which I can't believe I didn't see you guys at all. While I was in town. Right? But that's because every time I was sitting, it was a meeting. Right.
Yeah.
I actually watched that last Phillies game, like the last outs up in the Prestige Club in the Palazzo, the bougie club.
Yeah.
And so it was like me and then a couple that they were originally from South Jersey, but now they live out in Texas, but they were passing through. And so we just taken up one side of the club and we were watching that god awful game. So we watched the death throes of the Philly season. And I got to tell you, I haven't been able to look at Philly media and look at everything I'm missing in Philly media. Nick Sirianni yelling at his fans
again,
right? I thought he might have been yelling at you up in the stand.
Thank God, Jerry Jones the next day is yelling at their radio station. And
right,
friends of ours.
Takes the focus off of Nick Sirianni, right? But it's funny. The other 3 teams that had a bye, they made it through, but that hasn't been the case in past years. The Phillies did not do well with the bye. Their bats were cold as hell. There's a lot of blame to go around, and I think the big thing is everybody now who I know, they're like, well, I can't trust them. They're in first place. From like the end of May through the end of the season.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good they do during the season. And I'm like, you guys must forget the last go around when it was like
they got in on the
Jimmy
last
Rollins,
2 days.
Chase Sutton. Yeah,
but when they had the success, I mean, it varies. It's baseball. But
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Baseball is a streaky sport.
So hard.
It's just so to have your whole bench go cold at the plate. In the series,
it's happening in every other game so far for the Mets. But we'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. So, how do you feel after Vegas? Because it got Matt and I. I mean, you got the stuff. We all those meetings, all those people from all over the world came here to tell. I don't know. I had people tell me, Joe, that the bookmaking model is dead. You can't just take bets anymore. You have to do this. And if you're not involved in sweepstakes, you might as well not be open for business because.
I mean, I wish I should have carried a bottle of Jameson's around with me, so that I could take a swig every time somebody asked me about sweepstakes. I've been a puddle on the floor somewhere, And the number of people who thought like that when they were asking me, they were like, it's a totally new subject. Joe, what do you think about sweepstakes? I'm like, first of all, it used to be called social gaming.
Right.
So there's nothing new about it.
Change the name.
Oh, yeah, that's it, right? Old wine and new bottle. Well, think about AI, the great branding. Like you put AI on anything.
Yeah.
Well, AI is machine learning, right? I asked that of a couple of people I was sitting with, like, hey, when do we stop calling our machine learning models machine learning, and when we start calling them AI? It's like the same thing. If you're old enough like me, like when did we stop calling math formulas and we started calling them algorithms?
Huh.
It's the same goddamn thing.
Right.
It's different branding, you know,
Right.
because
Fair.
you know. But no, my big takeaway, I think, that kind of encapsulates everything, probably including some of the stuff that you're hearing, Dave, is I think we really did reach a tipping point in this industry with all these new people crowding into it who didn't have any experience. And at first it was kind of funny watching them bumble around and try and learn sports betting on the fly. But then they just decided like they weren't going to do it. Right. We're just going to remake this the way we wanted, like any other technology. So you have all these people who've come in like in the last few years that don't have any experience, and stuff just doesn't. It's interesting. I was having a cup of coffee with the guy who owns Pinnacle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. I had told him that I was, privy to some consumer research where they were talking about, brand name equity in the United States with sports betting brands. And it was interesting. Like, if you guys can guess what was number one on top, I'll give you a case of Tasty Cakes. What was the top brand ranked in this study for brand name equity when you combine the players and the media?
Was it FanDuel or DraftKings?
No.
Brand name equity?
Yeah.
ESPN bet?
No. I'll save you. It was SuperBook. And here's why. Because SuperBook had like almost 30 years of especially media equity, media recognition. Because every
contest.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
Not the Super. It's the Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl, everybody descends. For how many years did they have the field to themselves?
Right.
Where it was like SuperBook, and you'd see Jay everywhere, right? He was on every show, and it was all the goddamn props and everything. And now, because it's props, they just own that. And so in a lot of ways, it just points to that much more what a tragedy is that brand, at least when it turned into a digital brand outside of Nevada, never really took off.
Right.
It's such a shame. But the brand after that had really high equity, and this is more because of the longevity with the players, was Pinnacle. But we were talking about it, and they're trying to build a B2B business. And for me, I think it would be like if you're a FanDuel or you're DraftKings and you're trying to make the most of the US marketplace, and maybe, hey, how can we maybe reel this sharp action in and make a go of it, so we don't have Joe Brennan barking up our assholes every week, Mr. Know-It-All, right? And they're just not getting the traction. And I told him my theory is this: there's so many people at those companies that are so brand new that a name like Pinnacle, it just doesn't mean shit to them. It doesn't mean anything to them, because they don't have any sense of history or cultural memory. So like stuff like Pinnacle and Betcris and the Greek and others, like it just doesn't have it.
I literally got told that the model that I referred to are actually taking straight bets and stuff is dead. And I got told, and I said, it's unbelievable. If you take enough straight bets and you take, enough volume, yes, it's very thin, your margin, but you can win. And then you bring in more people. I'll leave it up to you to market it. You guys have all the answers. You guys have all the bandwidth. You know how to, optimize SEO. I heard that for a week straight.
Oh God. I mean, Jesus, that
a week straight.
Like, SEO, SEM, social influencers.
Yeah.
And it's
then I talked to somebody who said it takes 3 days. And they said that was impressive to withdraw money from their joint. It takes 3 days.
If
and
it took more than 3 minutes for a guy to get paid out from our sports book, I'm going to start getting, well, I'd say red in the face, but maybe redder.
This was the norm. They were we do so much volume. You have no idea, Dave. I said 3 days. I put in a request on a Monday, and I got to wait to get the confirmation on Thursday. then I'm getting my money. I can go and make a deposit or withdraw in 10 minutes, however it takes for me to drive to a book here. I don't understand, Joe, how that stuff is becoming the norm in the space.
It's because they're forcing it. I mean, that's the thing is you got these guys who I got to tell you guys, I'm on the record of having said this. I mean, I remember right after PASPA was overturned, the federal ban was overturned by the Supreme Court. And it was funny. I remember a New York Times reporter calling me and he said, like, hey, besides William Hill, who's going to be the big winners in this space?
Yeah.
And I was like, what makes you think William Hill's going to be a big winner?
Right.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, who do you think are going to be the winners? And I said, well, all the American casino companies, they already have these operations. They have all this in Nevada. So, my expectation is those guys will roll it out and, they'll just extend what they have in Nevada to all these states, and they've been doing it for so long. Those guys should do really, really well. And in the end, they totally fumbled it. And it's because, I think there was a lack of, I don't know, maybe it was insecurity. I remember at the time, there's a lot of people saying like, well, we need to have technology, we need to have mobile apps. We need all those. And, the Brits, they're the best in the world at it in the regulated market. And I was kind of like, well, there's an awful lot of mobile apps that are floating around Nevada.
Right.
So it was just really strange to see how that's where it started. So it was that. And then the other piece was, you just got to take your hats off to FanDuel and DraftKings. They kept enough oxygen in their daily fantasy sports business to keep it on life support. So when that law got overturned, now they've got millions of people. Millions of people who are already in their database were already deposited. I remember when they opened up here, FanDuel was the first ones to open up because they had a partnership with the now formerly known as Washington Redskins, now the Washington Commanders. So they were the first ones to open up here outside of DC. And I remember going to the site and I'm like, I wonder if my FanDuel daily fantasy sports login works.
It works.
And hell, it did. I mean, to me, that's the killer app right there. Yeah. And I was like, geez, I already got $100 in there left over from.
But you couldn't. But the wallets weren't shared for a while, though. Now you can, but for a while, those wallets did communicate.
In Virginia, it was day one.
Really?
Yeah, it was day one. That was the thing. That's why I was so stunned by it, because I logged on with my DFS account, and I'm like, look at that, $103. Wow, I found money in the couch.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I come from the radio world, and so like in the radio world, I've often said like AM radio started radio, AM radio will kill radio. We'll be there at the end when radio gets killed. AM will still be there because
they'll be the buggy whip of radio.
Yeah, because you need that. You need the ability to transmit over large distances, natural disasters, when hurricanes happen, evacuations, when the aliens come and invade, all that stuff will come through AM radio. At the end of the day, doesn't it, after all this dust settles, doesn't it just come down to booking the games? Isn't that what we're going to be left with at the end?
I mean, I think one thing is sometimes I can be a little bit of a drama queen. I'm sure this is going to stun everybody. You guys, you've met me, people who know me. Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about how many years now, right? So 2018 to now 2024, I can do math. That's 6 years, right? All right. So 6 years. I don't think you can make any epical conclusions about what the industry is going to be based on 6 years. There's, if you go back and you look at the receipts about what we were talking about, and they're like, I mean, I remember when we first got started off, the Brits were all telling us like, 90% of your betting is going to be live betting, in-game betting. It's not. Okay. Yeah. If somebody had said that to answer that when they were asserting that fall of 2018, when you were just getting live in New Jersey and a few other states, that, the answer to, oh, everything's going to be live betting. You'd be like, no, everything's going to be parlays. You'd have been laughed out of the goddamn barn, wouldn't you?
Well, how about the micro
Parlay?
argument? It was first.
Oh,
It was
God, yeah.
first. Everything was going to be parlays, and it was everything's going to be in game. Then it was everything's going to be
Yeah.
micro. I
Yep.
mean, it's just like
You're going to be
think
betting
about-
on every pitch.
Yeah,
And it's not. You don't. And that's because, and this is something that the guys who've come over from the other side of the pond have really had to get used to. And I think it is one of the reasons why they are more cautious and conservative in their risk management is it's like when you compare their dominant sports markets over there to our dominant sports markets, right? So I always, because I think I'm so clever, I always ask people like, why do you think the audience sings at soccer games, right? It's because nothing goes on, and so they got to entertain themselves somehow. There's nothing going on the field, so you can have 90% of your betting go on during a soccer game because there's a lot of space to be able to take in liquidity. If you're a player, there's much more time to react, to consider, to get your money down. So for an American game, like when you look how fast at football, basketball hockey,
game.
like
a basketball
how
game
quickly things change possession.
250 points, Joe. There's
Yeah.
250 points scored in an NBA game. The stuff wasn't done for that.
No, it wasn't. So
it's crazy.
So you can see why that one didn't quite pan out, and especially on micro betting, where you had, and remember the leagues were the ones who were touting this.
Oh,
I think it's ironic now because they've all jumped on the backlash bus with all the problem gaming people because they want to make us the boogeyman. They don't want to be the boogeyman. But you'll be, how many owners, how many league presidents or anything were like, oh, you're going to be able to bet on every play, on every pitch, on every basket, and now we knew that wasn't true, right? We know that based on a lot of data, it shows like people bet during TV timeouts, during commercials, during change of possession, things like that. That's when an American will stop looking at the game, and then maybe they look at their mobile device. But as soon as the action starts back up, that's what they're looking at. Most people are not looking at their device from play to play and saying like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. So, there's obviously, we'll just call this wave 1.0. 1.0 happened, and it happened in a way where it's kind of panned out where the guys who had really big databases of existing customers with already deposited money, well, they just cleaned everybody's clock. Congratulations, FanDuel and DraftKings. That was their killer app. I'd say both companies have done a good job as far as like improving on their product as they go on, but they really haven't, for our purposes, like the people who we really respect, they can't play with them because their risk appetite really hasn't improved. Their ability to book the games, feel confident about it so they can, maybe open it up a little more, hasn't improved all that much, visibly at least. And then everybody who's kind of followed them in the marketplace has just kind of photocopied them, right? But every time you photocopy a picture, it's a little less than the original.
Right.
So all the other brands that came after them, they're a little less than the two lead brands. Now, are those guys going to be up front forever? I would say absolutely not. Every day I drive by what's now a pile of rubble, but used to be the headquarters of AOL Time Warner. That was why I moved here, right? And at the time when I went to work there, it was the biggest internet company in the world. And it is a literal pile of rubble over there right now. It got destroyed, knocked down, just like the Tropicana, just with a lot less of a light show.
Right.
Make room for data centers to power AI and mobile apps and all that shit. So the world changes, empires fall. And more than likely, the thing that's going to upset the hierarchy right now is something that we're not even talking about.
Which is what?
You know what? Here's the thing. Where I'm kind of looking right now at innovation and everything is it's not on the operator side or the game publisher side. It's all this stuff that's now becoming available to the players. It's like these prediction apps and services and things like that, because it's the only place where it's kind of cost efficient to be innovative. Like there's a real disincentive if you're an operator or a supplier to really get too far out in front of the field for innovation because it just costs so much, right? By the time you finish getting it licensed and tested and then get it to market and everything, it's really tough to take that kind of chance on something that isn't already proven. So that's why you just see people kind of like do new updated versions of the same old thing. It's why all the sports books look the same, right? It's why all their experiences, all of our bet slips more or less look the same. And as a result, it's this stuff that now you see popping up all over the place, like, props AI and rhythm and odds jam and juice reel and things like that, that are more intended for the player segment. And then to help with everything from management to identifying positive EV plays and ARB plays and things like that, that's where innovation is happening right now. And so what I'm kind of looking out for is like, okay, what is the stuff that's being done there that's kind of proving out there in this space between the operators and the players that might at some point be the thing that kind of, like the same way they repurpose military technology for civilian use. What is that stuff that we're going to see out there right now that's going to become the
cell phone?
Yeah. I mean, the alien technology from Area 51.
Everybody will use. As an operator, though, how do you feel about that segment? Like, how do you feel about the new AI algorithm based products that are out there? Because look, we work with Rhythm, and I've used it. It doesn't win. It doesn't win as much as you would like it to win. It's still, the game still has to go the way the game has to go, right? I mean, even just the numbers say, hey, bet the dog at +7. Still has to win. It still has to play out, and the bet's going to win regardless.
You mean there's still? You mean these games that are populated by human organisms that are imperfect in their very nature still have to go through that? We're not just running computer simulation.
Right. Not yet. There's virtual gaming though. That's coming.
Yeah. Some people will tell you that's the future too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure anybody who subscribes to like an unabated or a Rhythm or something like that, would want to, if you're going to pay that kind of money, you would like perfection, like 100% win rate, wouldn't you? I know I would. That would be awesome.
Well,
it's not going to
happen. Over 55%, that would be okay.
But, like Megan at Rhythm, I really respect what they've built. They've got a really good crew there. Paris Smith is advising them. They've got some good people. The guys at Odds Jam, they're, a different approach, but they're more about like, kind of being like, the one-stop shop for everything from being able to do odds comparisons to ARB plays and things like that. So some of these, and I mean, Juice Reel probably gets more positive, unsolicited reviews in my DMs on Twitter, like the number of guys where I get like, hey, when are you guys going to be on Juice Reel? Than probably anything else out there. Now, for all I know, that's everybody at Juice Reel writing to
Ricky's smart. Ricky's just getting everybody to push it to you.
But but it kind of shows you like where should the center of gravity be in this marketplace? And right now, you'd say the operators, because there's two of them that are so dominant, they have better than 85% market share, right? That is a really weird market dynamic. And so you kind of wonder, because you go over to, the other side of the pond where all of these Brits who keep telling us the way the world is going to be right now, it's not that way over there. Even like a big operator like Bet365, they don't have but more than 15.
I was going to say 20% max.
Yeah. So, a lot of these things that people are taking is like carved in stone, delivered over a burning bush kind of stuff. Like, oh, this is always going to be dominant. It's just not true. It hasn't been true in any technology industry, any consumer industry. Can I see downstream who that is right now? Well, if I could, I would be sending them, I'd cash out my 401k and I'd send them my money so I could get the stock now.
Right.
Rather than waiting for it to go public and, with the rest of the squares.
Right.
But Yeah, I mean, things are going to change. I'm more interested in seeing kind of like, and this was a discussion that I was having with some people at the conferences is what do you think 2.0 of this marketplace looks like? What are the problems that we're having in the marketplace? What are you as an operator, or what are you as a player, or you as a supplier, or you as an innovator? What do you see as the problems out there, and how are you addressing them, or who do you think they're being addressed, or do you think they're being ignored? What's the black hole that we're all headed towards? And last weekend I would have said the day that all the favorites won and covered.
Right.
Thank God we don't carry as much parlay risk as those other guys. I can only imagine that Sunday was that much worse for them than it was for us. But but it all comes back to this industry's now reached a tipping point, I think, a while back, where we so many new people came in the industry without any experience, and now I met guys last week. I met people who were like vice presidents of their companies, and they've been in the industry a year or two, and they're talking like, I was in one meeting that like there was 8 people in it from one of the really big companies, one of the big suppliers in the industry. They had 8 people in this meeting with myself and with Adam, and one person had experience. They had betting experience. Going back to like the old school days down in San Jose. Everybody else, they were brand new, and when they talked in business school jargon. I even joked at one point, I'm like, wow, you guys have gotten really friggin' commercial and corporate here. These conversations weren't like this before, when I was like negotiating odds contracts with you 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just lost on them. It's lost on them. And that's why I think, you see other legacy brands just kind of struggling to find their place here right now. And it really is a shame. We're going to lose something if those companies aren't able to pass on that knowledge and that technology and that way of doing business.
Last one for me. You survived Sunday. Thank goodness. But when Sunday happened, did you go, I mean, as the scores are coming, and I'm just thinking, man, I'm glad I'm not in a book right now, because it's getting uncomfortable. And I see, you're giving Patrick the sharp report. You're giving a couple other people the sharp stuff, what you guys need. And I'm laughing because I'm like, whew, these were the weeks that it was like, okay, to kind of be in the middle and not have to take all that public action. Because
we actually, the Sunday wasn't bad on pregame for us.
Right.
If you looked at some of that stuff that like we sent through Dave Purdom and Patrick and Ben Fox, like I always love the comments that are attached to these guys when they put stuff up.
Yeah.
It's always guys calling bullshit on me. Right. Like that's not a fair, that's not a sharp play. Sharps are on this. It really shows you that that's why I have so much faith in being able to do this business, because there's a lot of people out there who really think that they know sports betting, and they don't know.
Oh, nobody knows.
They don't know the first 100th of sports betting.
No.
Well, sharps always bet on the underdog. Like, no,
they don't. No, they don't.
They always bet
and
unders.
Your sharps may be different than other book sharps. Yeah. Like nobody understands that. They think there's a big club where everybody gets a
card
and everybody gets a membership card, and they're all S's on it, sharp, and they only bet one way. Like it can be completely.
There's no line at the DMV to go wait at sharp license, right?
Yeah, none.
And here's the thing: like, you can pick anything in the world, any topic, and you'll have smart people look at it, look at the same thing, and fundamentally disagree.
Right? Which is my favorite. Why is
sports betting any different from that?
No, it's the best when the sharp guys are betting against each other. I just try to keep letting them each bet, and I'll take out the middle. That's fine.
Right. And so pregame, if you go back, if you roll back the tape and you look at some of those where we said our biggest needs, like we actually weren't doing that bad. We weren't getting slaughtered the way the recreational shops were.
Yeah.
But as Adam pointed out the other day on our show, it's like what really kind of really kind of put the spike in us was the in-game stuff.
Right.
In that, it wasn't like the
You
example
can't
he made.
stop it, Joe. It's the
Yeah.
product. It's the product. It's very hard.
It's fine. It's fine. But but then you come back to work, and then it's another week. I mean, it's interesting. Like this week, like I was in the middle of something yesterday, and Purdom all of a sudden pings me. He's like, "Hey, did you guys take a bunch of sharp action on Texas?" I wasn't even paying attention at the time.
Right.
Then I look at our screen, and I'm like, "Holy shit! We went from -4 to -5.5."
Right. Yeah.
In 20 minutes in the last hour. Even I was like, "Hey, trading room, what the hell's going on?" And we had a couple of wise guys come in, and they hit us on that one. And Christ, we moved the number on every screen on the planet on that one as a result. And then the same guys, they came in, and when I got back to Purdom later, some additional stuff, like same guys who really moved that Texas number also came in, and they rated Michigan, Memphis, South Carolina in short order. So the whole thing, like, oh, those guys, they spend all week, asleep under a rock, and they're just waiting until like 4 or 5 hours before game time before they start to get active and move things around. Like, they won't, not this week. Those guys, they're getting active early.
And hopefully they're not setting you up.
Well, they're not setting us up because they bet into us. If anybody's getting head faked, it's all the jamokes who move their number on air as soon as they saw us twitch, right?
Yeah.
So for all we know, that was Billy betting whatever with us. And then so he could get the other number going the other way with all those recreational shops and whatever bot army he's using right now. Right?
Bot army. Put that on a t-shirt.
Joe, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll talk
always
next week.
Always a pleasure, gents.
Thursday.
Y'all take
Joe
care.
Brennan.
Go
on the Bostonian versus the Book, joining us here every Thursday on a Prime Sports Thursday. Great to get him on the program, talking everything happening in the sports world, Philly and the like on that.
There you go. You got all the sharp plays. That's it.
Well, I knew the South Carolina play was going to be a sharp play this weekend just because of what has happened historically. Yeah. So that's how we talked about it yesterday when we talked college football, that South Carolina play seemed to be the one that he mentioned that caught my eye, though, was the Michigan one. That's okay. Like, all right. See Michigan coming in. That's a play I can get behind. I thought about it, but Texas, I think, is just gonna. I don't know. It feels like everyone's gonna take Georgia because they think Georgia's the same type of team that they've been, and it feels like Texas is the new Georgia. And you're going to their place. I don't know. Texas feels like the side. Fun game, great game to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be a ball.
It's going to be good.
Speaking of college football, there are 11 teams that are undefeated in college football. Here is your current projection for the college football playoff, according to Nick Bromberg of Yahoo Sports. Your 1 seed is Texas. They will play the winner of Alabama-Clemson. That's a new team. Your Penn State Nittany Lions will face off at home against Boise. Winner plays Iowa State in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm telling you right now, the Cyclone fans will be so excited to get to go to the Fiesta Bowl. They love going to Phoenix. You've got a 6-11 matchup between Ohio State and Tennessee. Winner plays the U, Miami, in the Peach Bowl of Atlanta. And then Georgia does not get the home game that they'd be looking for with the Peach Bowl. I think they'd rather be the 6th seed. They get to play at the Peach Bowl. Instead, they got to play LSU in Athens and then go to the Rose Bowl. Well, it will be all green for Oregon. What do you make of this bracket?
It's pretty interesting.
I love this bracket. It's not going to look like this, but this bracket's great.
Right. Yeah, this is better than the one we saw a couple weeks ago. I don't know. That'll be fun. Penn State can find a way to beat Boise at home. They get to go to the Fiesta Bowl. Go down to that game.
Just say, will you go?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, Arizona is a perfect trip for me. That works out great. So, yeah, that'll be fun, depending on when that is.
I mean, look at those 6-11, 7-10 matchups.
Monsters.
What crazy handle you're going to see on those games.
Yeah, Alabama, Clemson.
I mean,
We're gonna see that
Dabo
again?
Dabo against Clemson. I mean, here we go again with that.
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. That'll be fun. I don't know. Tell me, you want to see that or you want to see Denver, New Orleans?
Right. How is Miami a 3 seed? Well, Covey, he's saying that Miami's going to run the table. Miami is 6-0. Yeah, they haven't covered the last 2 weeks, but they're 6-0. Win the ACC. They're an automatic bid. They'll be undefeated. They're going to be a top 5 seed. So 1 seed will be the SEC winner. 2 seed's going to be the Big 10 winner. 3 seed's going to be the ACC winner. 4 seeds the Big 12.
Damn, I forgot to ask Brennan if he was an aisle, middle, or window guy.
Can I close that now?
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of votes. Leave it up. There's people voting.
I closed it. So it's right. It's split right where I thought it would be. So
window
48, 45, 5.
Yeah. Window
that
1.
That doesn't really equal 100, but that's fine.
Window 1. For those
Barely.
of you just joining the show, window
48, 45.
Window, aisle,
barely.
Middle. And there were 6% of the people that voted middle. I told you there would be close to 10.
You were wrong.
6%.
You were wrong. You said 10. It was 6. That's wrong. Numbers guy. No, 6 is in 10.
6 is close to 10. You said nobody.
I agree. 5% of psychos. I agree.
Come on,
WB psychos. I totally agree with you. Picking middle was wrong with you to pick middle. Where is the next to last round and championship being played? Well, the next. Oh, you mean the semifinals?
Yeah.
The semifinals. Let me see if it's on that actual schedule on that breakdown. It's not.
Somebody find out in the chat.
I know this, but I'm blanking on where it's being played.
One of the big bowl sites, the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, the 2020
Miami
national title game.
I don't know.
So it's being played. Let's see. 20. It's 25. It's not 24. It's 25. Mercedes-Benz.
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. So they go back for the Peach Bowl. They go back to where they were. 2025. Yeah. So the college, the dates are the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl are your semifinal sites.
Okay.
So Orange Bowl in Miami, Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Jerry's World, and the Miami in January 9 and 10, and then Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta for the national championship game. December 20th and 21st. That's your first round. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day for the quarterfinals. Bonkers. Nice. 9th and 10th for the semifinals, and then the championship on the 20th. We have college football on January 20th.
Very different.
It's so weird.
Very different.
So weird.
Yep. In the midst of all the college basketball, we're going to throw in 2 gigantic football games.
And the NFL playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that'll be
in the midst of the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
Not just college football playoffs and college basketball. The NFL playoffs will be going on.
They're just another game on the schedule for the most part. As far as handle goes, like that, I mean, they're big, but they're so manageable. It's easy. But these college stuff will be the week to week discussions will be fun.
There are some big names with 1 loss on their resume. Like Georgia, if Georgia loses Saturday, they'll have 2 losses. I mean, how many 2-loss teams make the playoffs?
Couple.
That's crazy.
There'll be a couple.
12
teams in it.
2 2-loss teams making the playoffs. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people pissed off about that. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna go, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. I have 1 loss or I'm undefeated. You're gonna leave me out?
Right.
I mean, there's teams out there that are gonna be having 1 loss or undefeated. They're gonna have better overall records than a 2-loss Georgia team.
Oh, yeah.
But Georgia will get in because it's Georgia.
Because it's the SEC. We'll get all the teams. How many? Put that bracket back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 teams from the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
and there could be more.
Stop it.
There could be more. There could be 6.
Who's not on that list there from the SEC that's going to get in?
So your teams,
Andy?
no. So your teams that you could be potentially looking at, and this is kind of crazy because there are a lot of teams. So one-loss teams right now are Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Texas A&M is a team that could get in, Texas Tech, LSU, SMU. They have one loss. Bama's got one loss. K-State's got one loss. Missouri's 5-1. Tennessee is 5-1. It's possible that you could have 6 teams in the SEC get in.
Yeah. I said that back in August when we were talking about all this.
It's possible. I don't think it happened.
It won't happen.
Well, I mean, I think there would be outrage if it happened. Personally,
Really?
if you get, because it would depend upon how many losses.
Outrage from anybody except 2 fan bases.
No, 2 conference fan bases. Big 12 fans hate you guys. Big 12 fans hate the Big 10. SEC fans hate the Big 10. Big 10 fans hate the SEC. There'll be conferences, not just fan bases.
I'm talking about a 6 SEC team.
Yeah, all Big 10 and Big 12 fans will freak out. Freak out if it's 6. Yeah, and yes, no. As of right now, no Notre Dame. You can't lose to Northern Illinois at home and get to the playoffs. They've been dead to me since that loss. Yes, dead. Bye-bye. They're going to lose to Army or Navy, though. So I'm not expecting the Irish to be around. One of those 2 teams will trip them up, either Army or Navy.
Okay.
I mean, Iowa's 4-2. Ole Miss is 4-2. Wisconsin's 4-2. But get out of here. I mean, there's going to be.
I don't know who needs to hear this. Wisconsin ain't making the playoff. Everybody
Army,
relax.
but Army and Navy are both undefeated. I mean, they're both undefeated.
Where are they on the bracket?
They're not.
I missed them.
They're not. Boise's the team that gets in.
Oh.
But if UNLV beats Boise in Army and Navy, one of those are undefeated. Army or Navy could be in the playoff. That'd be unbelievable. Sign me up.
If UNLV beats Boise and runs the table, they have 1 loss. They're not getting in.
Right. That lost to Syracuse to keep them out. Yeah, that's it. They're not getting in. But Army or Navy could be undefeated. If they beat Notre Dame, Iowa's getting in. I told you that. I told you guys that back in August.
Vinny!
You told me I was nuts.
Vinny!
I said that in August. And all you guys were like, you're crazy. Iowa can't make it. I said, yeah, they can.
I was not getting
They can get in. They're 4-2. They can get in. They got big games. They beat Ohio State. They beat Ohio State on the road. Not going to happen. Or they lost. Who do they have? No, they lost to Ohio State. Who do they have on the road? Iowa's got 1 big game left.
I was not getting in. Stop. Not getting in.
Hold on. I'm curious.
They're not getting in.
Oh my God. They're gonna run the table.
Yeah.
They're not losing again.
And not get in.
They're gonna be 10-2. They can get in at 10-2, depending how things shake out. They're gonna have to kill UCLA, Maryland, and Nebraska at the end of the year. But they play Michigan State, Northwestern, Wisconsin, UCLA, Maryland, Nebraska.
Okay. Slow down. Say them again.
Michigan State.
Okay.
Northwestern.
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay. Any road games yet?
Sorry. Michigan State's on the road.
Okay.
Northwestern's at home. Wisconsin's at home.
Okay.
UCLA's on the road.
Okay.
Maryland's on the road. Nebraska's at home.
They can run the table, not even get in the Big Ten championship.
Well, they'll have 1 loss in the Big Ten. So where will they be? Tiebreakers will come into play as to how the Big Ten, because Ohio State will be there, but because Penn State's got
Penn State's got to play Ohio State.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So they have to play up against each other. So yeah, that's that's November 2nd. So one of those teams will have a loss. So it'll come down to tiebreakers for Iowa versus Penn State or Iowa versus Ohio State, which would be Ohio State because they beat
Indiana
Iowa.
Can have 1 loss too.
That's true.
It's going to be a mess. It was a great idea expanding and doing all this other stuff. There could be 5 teams with 1 loss.
1 snap. What are you doing? They're not beating.
Whoa!
Nebraska.
1 snap. They're not beating Nebraska.
Have they lost at Kinnick yet to Nebraska since they started playing the All-American game? What? I don't think they've won at Kinnick yet. So let's see if Nebraska can go and beat. I've seen Nebraska can beat them at Memorial Stadium, but they're not playing there. They're playing at Kinnick.
Nebraska's going to go to Iowa and win?
No, not.
Come on,
not,
V. Have you
no.
been out, cutting grass today or what? What are you smoking grass? What are you
So
doing?
we'll have fun. I mean, this is going to be a really fun month of November. It's going to be awesome. Scoreboard watching, and this is awesome. I mean, this is somebody said in the chat.
State CBW just said it. If Penn State beats Ohio State would have 2 conference losses. They wouldn't get in the Big Ten championship in that situation.
It's true.
Don't let the Penn State Nittany Lions win that game. Oh, my God. If they do, that opens the door for Indiana, for Iowa. You guys should all be rooting for Penn State to beat Ohio State.
Windiana. Is that their new name?
Whoa.
Is Windiana?
Look at this, Nate Irvine. Here comes 9 Windiana. LOL. I love
Probably not. You're
Chicago,
probably right.
John. I know. I mean, let me just please. They're on a bye. We could just talk in theory. I know. He said Penn State's not beating Ohio State. For those
How
of you
many
that
kids
are
are?
listening
How many entries are left, JC, in the Big Ten Survivor Contest?
Ooh, this is the hard. Last week and this week hard.
It was
week.
22, I think, last week.
Wow.
After last week, I think there were 22 entries left.
On a proxy with someone and got in that thing. I wanted to be in that thing
39.
so bad. We came up with
There's
the whole
39 left.
All
Okay,
right.
so we got a
Thank
lot
you,
left.
Murph.
All right, we got a lot more than I thought.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be wild. Oh, not me. USC got me. Sorry, Chicago John.
Damn it.
Yeah, USC Penn State game. Sorry. That was a tough one. All right, tonight, baseball. We got the Yankees and the Guardians.
Starts in an hour.
-120. Starts in an hour. Sorry.
It's a 2:00 game.
Day game. My God.
Day game Pacific time zone. We got a 5:00 game with the Pacific time zone
That's the
team.
worst. That's the worst.
2:00 time zone?
It's the
2:00
worst.
time? For
No, 5
baseball?
o'clock. 5 o'clock baseball East Coast time. It's awful in Cleveland.
Well,
Ooh,
they're
6
both
o'clock.
playing today.
It's rush
so
hour.
Nobody's working today. It's the Guardians are in the ALCS. The city's shut down.
Got smoked.
Everybody's leaving early.
You got smoked.
Talking about. They're going to win today. Boyd.
Really?
Lefty.
770
Come
to win
on,
the LCS.
please.
Yankees are 770.
It's absurd.
770. But
What are they
you know
going to
what?
be after they lose today?
If the Yankees win today, all is not lost.
What?
If the Yankees win today, all is not lost.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because this happened before. 20 years ago today, baby.
Don't let them win today.
20 years ago today.
Don't let them win today. Because
Robert Steele second. Bill Miller ties it.
Uh-huh.
Big Poppy walk-off home run. Red Sox stay alive. 3-1. We've seen the Yankees blow up before.
Not going to lie. I got up this morning and I don't know what this is going to become of the social media platform that I love, the Twitter, the X,
Oh, God.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to become a mess. But one of the things is seeing these old clips of different things. And today is a very special day. It's my favorite thing about today. I was going to save it for then. I'll give a hint at it now. I saw the Millar clip when he said to Shaughnessy, don't let us win today because we got Petey, we got Schill, and then we got a game 7. And he told Shaughnessy, we could start you at second base. Anything can happen in a game 7. And I was exhausted. My head was pounded. I told my daughter goodbye. Have a good day at school. My wife was already long gone for work. And I told Grandma, I got to go lay down. I dreamt about that World Series. I had a dream about that because that's the last thing I saw on my phone. And I was like, God, I love fucking baseball. Sorry, Will, I didn't say that one with my chest. I love baseball. And I love these moments. And yes, all hope is not lost. And I thought, then I wake up and, we got a big show tomorrow. If I didn't get enough Boston.
Oh, my
today,
God. We haven't even told you what's coming tomorrow, guys. Buckle up for tomorrow.
For dear Lord's sake. I can't believe I agreed to this, but it's going to be so much
Emerson's
fun.
already publicizing it on his socials.
I know.
He's already pushing it.
That's why we got to get that thing working. The box.
It's Emerson, Fitzy, me, and Dave for Jacksonville, New England in London. 2 1-5 football teams. If anybody else is doing a 4-box on a 1-5 versus 1-5 football game, you're lying.
Nobody's doing that. There people in Boston aren't even doing that. I mean, seriously, stop. They're not. Before that, we got Mac. I had to get some Pittsburgh.
Great,
before.
let's do it. I'm in. Let's go.
We got Mac for the
your hockey team forgot to play defense. You just don't know how to stop the puck. Jari got yanked before the 12-minute mark last night.
Somebody's going to have an intervention with that.
Or just cut him because he can't play. He's dead.
I mean, they got to fix it. Like, he could play some point, but, like, I don't know if he can. I don't know. But you can't have to score 6 every game to win. And we got to score 6. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Where were you October 17, 2004?
I was at home here in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
It was one of my favorite things. I had really just started working in a book again because we moved here in 03 in the fall at Thanksgiving weekend. And then we got married in 04 in the spring, May 29th. And I started working in the fall in the book at the Nugget. I will never forget, right? I wrote the number on the dry erase board when it was 3-0. It was minus 2,500. So we had to lay 25-1, and take back was 15-1.
Wow.
And I remember going, who in the hell is going to take the Red Sox in this situation? We took one bet on it. We took one bet for $10.
Awesome. That's awesome.
One bet.
Just to have the ticket. Just to have the ticket.
And
for $10 just to have it.
And I went home that night and watched the game, obviously, taking care of the little one. She was a baby. She wasn't even a year old yet. Or no, she was a year old. 03 to, so she was a year. And then we were probably, I don't know, Jess was working overnights, and I know I was watching baseball, and I was going, oh my God, they did win. When Robert stole that base, I was like, wow. Then I immediately went to, I can't wait to see what the line is tomorrow. I can't wait to see because they got Pedro. Pedro wins that game. And then, holy crap, what if they go and win game 6?
It was such a funny superstition, messed up part of my life because I'd watched the first 3 games with my then girlfriend who was from Boston, I was in Alabama. We watched game 1, we watched game 2, we watched game 3, and game 4 came, and I go, I can't watch this with you. I can't do this. This is too bad. This is brutal. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I need to watch this alone because I hate this team so much. And 2003 nearly killed me. And I gotta have it happen again. It's gonna happen again. We're gonna lose again to these damn team. I'm never gonna see a championship in my life. The Red Sox are never gonna win. So I'm in my house, complete darkness. I'm literally as far away from the screen as I can be from the screen. And Dave Roberts steals the base. And you're like, huh. I'm like, Miller's going to do what now? It's Mariano. Like, this is just, okay, this is an unbelievable steal, but okay, what happens? He singles, and you're like, oh my God, the game's tied. We're at home. I don't know. Can we do this? You start getting that dream going, and then Ortiz hits the damn home run, and we'll see you later tonight because the game is late.
It was late.
It was late night. And she says, we'll leave it later tonight. And I'm like, oh my. And then the next morning, I'm doing morning radio in Alabama. So I'm coming in. I'm absolutely beyond excited. I am like the worst version of myself. If you don't like my Boston love now, that was a whole different level. And I just start talking smack because I'm going, I got the best pitcher in the game going tonight. I got the best pitcher in the game. I got Pedro Martinez. I got a game 6 where I got Kurt Schilling. I got the bloody sock. I got that moment. That happens. And then game 7 goes down. And we talked about it before, but sorry, Will, the fucking grand slam was, I'll never forget. I made sounds that no human being should probably make when he hit that ball. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. We hit a damn grand slam in a game 7. It was like, they didn't just put like, okay, we'll be in game 7. They slammed the door shut. They made no questions about it. Like, it is over. Done deal. You just choked a 3-0 lead in the greatest comeback in the history of sports. There was no better moment than that moment in my sports life. Nothing will top that. No Patriot championship, no Bruins, no Celtics, nothing. Nothing will top watching those 4 wins and watching the Red Sox, because it wasn't even, the Cardinals weren't even there. The Cardinals didn't even play in the World Series. You could have played anybody. Absolutely anybody. It doesn't matter who was there. That was win 1, 2, 3, 4, game over, goodbye, championship, done. Like, it was the biggest foregone conclusion that the Red Sox would win the World Series after that. It was so fun.
I can't even begin to tell you how true that is, because there wasn't a person that would bet the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a person. And the irony of all this is so Jess and I, we got married in 2004. And I find out then that she is in love with Derek Jeter. Like genuinely in love with him. And I used to say, listen, if you leave me for Jeter, I'm good with it.
Right.
It's fine. We
right.
got one kid. We got to have another one on the way.
We'll figure it out.
He'll help. We'll help.
Right.
I'll hang out with him, whatever you need. Like, that's fine. So she's rooting for the Yankees. And I remember texting her that night going, the Red Sox won. And she's like, what? And I said, yeah, no, they came back. They won. I said, don't be surprised if they win tomorrow too. And she's like, whatever, you know? So this was our first, like, I'm rooting for the Red Sox because who's rooting for the Yankees? I mean, let's be real about this, right? I'm not rooting for the Yankees. I just got over being in Arizona in 2001 and watching the Diamondbacks beat them. So I ain't rooting for the Yankees. I'm rooting for Boston. Back in the day, I used to root for Boston a lot against in that situation because
it's the Yankees. Who cares? No one likes the Yankees. Yes, like the Yankees.
Serious.
Right.
So that was fun. I mean, that whole time was my first time back in a book, living and dying with games and sweating this and sweating that. And I'm taking care of little kids. And like, man, it was an awesome time. But this day is important too, just not for that one. But you know what happened 35 years ago today?
Say it.
The Pirates won the World Series. I can't even say it without almost tearing up and crying. I was 9. I was on top of the world. My team came back from down 3-1. I was at game 3 in Three Rivers Stadium and froze my ass off. I thought it was done. It was over. And they won in game 5 with a guy named Jim Rooker, who nobody thought they were going to win. Then they won game 6. And then they won game 7. And this kid named Matt Rothfuss was in my 4th grade class, came in the next day with a sign that he hung at Memorial Stadium because his dad took him to the game. And I was like, you went to the game. You went to the game. The Pirates won the World Series. You were at the game. We thought they were going to go again.
Well, that was more than 35 years ago. That was 1979. That was 45 years ago.
Oh, 45. I did the math wrong. I was tearing up. It was 45 years ago.
Yeah, so I said no, not 35 years ago. I was going to say, it's like, what's that? It's like they won in the 80s. Like, when did the Pirates win the World Series in the 80s? I was like, hold on a second.
45 years ago.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, that doesn't make. I was like, I was like, wait a minute, where was I when they won that? I was like, I know I was alive, but I was 2 years old when they were.
Yeah,
they were.
That was a dream. So like these October memories that pop up in the is so good.
Yeah, and CBW, I am with you. I have a seven set CD collection of the ALCS that a listener in Alabama taped every game and then mailed it to me. I have no idea how to play it. It's right down there. It's in my. I have a little bookcase thing. I have it. I have no idea how. I have nothing to play it. I have every game in full length, all 7 games. I have them, a CD of all of them that a listener in Alabama sent to me. Say, Matt, I taped all the games. I made you a copy. Here you go. I've just kept it. I have no idea how and when. The quality is like not even 720.
What broadcast?
The Fox broadcast.
The national broadcast?
The national broadcast. You just taped it off of and burned it onto CDs. Back when we used to do that, kids, we used to burn things on the CDs. We had to keep them physical copies of things.
I don't
not
even
digital.
know how to even. I mean, I did it, but I don't remember how to do it. Like I honestly, I wouldn't know how to do it now. Where would you play that? That's awesome. I don't know. We got to find
Amazon sold the 7. I have a ripped off version of it. I'm sure the Amazon version actually works. I'm not sure mine works. I've never played it. I just was really sweet of some guy who just said, one day you'll look at that, you look back and you'll like that. It was 20 years ago. I've never played it in 20 years, but I have it. I have the 7 CD set of all the games to go back and just relive those moments back when DVRs were a thing. Yes, kid, look up what a DVR is. Don't know what DVRs are, but DVR, right? the DVD RW, the rewritable discs that you could buy at like Radio Shack. Remember those Radio Shacks? Now they're gone too, but you could buy Radio Shacks to go ahead and tape stuff.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Burn CDs for your friends. Yeah.
Oh, Marcelo used to do that.
That's the girlfriend move. You make the mixtape, you make the mix CD. Come on. We all have to do that.
I made mixtapes. That's how old I am.
Me too. I made mixtapes too. I'm old too. I made mixtapes too. I did that too. Yankees aren't the only team that's rolling. The Dodgers are too. You brought up those Quintana stats last time. Does it play again into this here? Can the Mets stay alive? Because they go down 3-1, it's over.
You just said they're down 3-0. It's not over. All hope is not
different.
lost.
That's the Yankees. That's the American League side. That's because it's the Yankees. That's what they do. They put their hands around their throat and squeeze. This Dodger team is not losing 3 games in a row.
They could lose tonight.
They could. I think this is it. This is the most important thing. One snap. My CDs. Does your computers play CDs? Because I haven't had a computer that plays CDs in a long time. So I don't know. Maybe yes, but I don't have CDs players on my computers anymore. I don't know.
I mean, we could probably get somebody to help us
finally.
with
that. There's a website now you mail your CDs to, and they make them into MP3s and MP4s. They'll do it for you. But
I ain't mailing nothing. I'm going to hand that to somebody and say, I want you to take care of this.
Right. Make sure.
I got too much stuff that it can't be lost. Like that's a game broadcast. We could end up finding that. Like, I mean, I have the VHS tapes of the 2001 World Series. And stuff,
wow.
Like the highlights, the highlight tapes, which again, that's going to end up being my favorite thing about today because I saw something else on the Twitter that was just fascinating. But I can't just send it away. Like I can't believe that I sent away the Jordan rookies that I had. I sent away Michael Jordan rookie cards. Back in the day, that's what you did.
Never came back?
Graded.
Never came back?
No, they came back.
Oh, okay.
They came back graded. Yeah. But yeah, I got Michael Jordan rookie cards.
They came back then.
Yeah, I just know, but like if something gets lost in the mail,
right? Oops,
it's gone. Well, you got insurance. Okay, there's no insurance that can. I mean,
right.
Pay
Bring
me
back
for that memory.
Bring back that. Yeah.
Right. Or a card like that. Yes, I think the Mets are live today.
Dodgers are 380 to win the NLCS.
As they should be. Right?
Big favorites.
They're up 2-1 and they're minus 380. The Yankees are up 2-0 and are playing on the road and they're minus 800. When you tell me what's off.
Well, one win. How much is one win worth? $4. Mets have won a game.
I guess, but it seems a lot.
You have a Fleer Jordan rookie card somewhere in the attic. I would go find that, DeJuice.
Yeah.
I would go find that.
Might be time to go up in the attic. I'll come help.
Yeah, I don't think you want to just have that be up there somewhere in the attic. I would want to know where that is. Like, especially if it's anywhere gradable like Dave's. If you have a gradable one, that's a 5-figure card, guys.
The problem with the thing is like, a 7 is a dime. A 10 is $1 million. And I mean, there's a big difference between the two numbers.
Yep.
But if they give you a 6 and it's a dime, but geez, if I'd have taken care of that or that damn card cutter would have just cut it a little more on this side and not so much on this side, that I'd have $1 million. That's every once in a while I pull mine out and just hold it and look at it. Pause. Sometimes you got to pull it out and just look at it. You know what I'm talking about. The card. I know you're on medication. Focus.
I'm on a medication right now, but pause. What?
Just pull it out and look at it. Back. Don't do nothing with it. Put it back. Put it back.
Put it back. Down, boy.
Put it back. You don't have to do anything with it.
Not your time. You're ruining the moment. Not your time.
That's it. Put it back.
Circa Survivor. Let's take a look at it here as we go into week number 7. 216 entries. Eagles were last week. The number 1 pick finally survived. Only 5 teams out. Titans and the Jaguars. So here we are sitting 7 weeks in, going into 7 weeks in, 6 weeks in. 216. When do deals start to get made in your mind? When do we start seeing people start to sell?
Happening.
People are selling already?
Yeah.
60,000, 70,000, 80,000?
Yep.
Would
They're
you sell?
happening.
If you had we know people who we have proxy service guys who are alive. Would you sell?
I'd have to really think about it. I mean, we've gotten the sweat this far. That's a lot.
I know
of money.
what I would do.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I think you'd have to consider it.
60-1. Give me. You're done. Here. Good luck. Best of luck to you. No thanks. I'm not going through this. I want to 60 times my money, more than I thought I'd make.
Yeah. It's a really hard question. It's an individual
decision.
Very individual decision. Like there's not one way to say, oh yeah. I mean, to a millionaire, no, they're not selling. Their ego and they're already have money. They're not 100% not selling. A guy making 45 grand a year grinding that, pulled together money to come out to Vegas and get in this thing and is partnered with two people. Yeah. They're going to each pick up, 25,000 after spending 350 each approximately. Yeah. I don't want to have to worry about picking the rest of the way. I get it. I don't know. Again, this week is painfully obvious. If you haven't used Buffalo yet, you use Buffalo, right? That seems like it. That seems like the 7 to 9 point favorite. I mean, they're a 9 point favorite.
Got to be careful with those 9 point favorites.
Yeah, but do you want to use?
I mean, the biggest favorites on the board right now for the millions, using million numbers. Bills are 9.5. The Commanders are 7.5.
Yeah.
The
Commanders are playing the Panthers. I mean, everybody's just picking against the Panthers. If you haven't used the Commanders yet, that's probably a good spot. No.
Yes.
Bengals against the Browns.
Goodness.
That's a tough one. That's on the road. That's
division game on the road. Absolutely not. No way.
You want to use the Rams at home against the Raiders?
I mean, you could,
big number, but
they play well in LA. It'd be more black than gold in that building.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Brutal.
Put it in a poll or put it in the chat. Would you buy or sell? Or would you hold or sell if you had a survivor entry right now and you spent 1,000? You're going to benefit the full amount. You don't have a partner. You don't have anything. Chicago John says sell, no question. Yeah.
If someone's offering me legitimately $60,000 to $70,000, 100% I'm selling.
Right.
I'm looking to move it. And if not this week, next day, after this week, 100%. This is a hard week.
Right.
This is a hard week. I think we'll see probably 5-10% go down this week.
I haven't looked at the matrix, like who's left with who available.
Right.
Thank goodness we still have a couple people with the brigade proxy service. So that's good. Wow. Ross Randall said sell. That's 3 times my teacher's salary.
Yeah. The board is brutal. I agree. The board's really you might want to hold a week. I don't blame Rocky. I hold one more week and see if you can get the week 7 and then see where it goes. But I'm with it. I think we're going to lose 20 or 30 entries this weekend. I know it'll be down to 175. I mean, your value is going to be somewhere around 100,000. Gets real.
It's already real. Right now, it's real. It's real earlier than it usually is. When we meet people, and I've done the show on VSiN with the Survivor guys and stuff, I say just make it to Halloween.
Right.
Literally, that's the line that I use. Like, just get to Halloween and look out. Because everything's accelerated. Like, what is normally Halloween is like right now.
Right. You're hoping to get to Halloween. Like you're hoping to get 3 weeks.
At this point, yeah. But like normally you just try to get to Halloween and then the money gets real and you start to really sweat it, think it, watch, get consumed with it.
WV, I think it increases it. I think all the exposure that people got, everybody thinks they can do this. So I actually think it helps. All the talk, all the hype, all the publicity, I think it helps. I think next year will go more than 14,000 entries. It'll go up next year, not down.
I think it's going to go up. But at the same time, I don't know if it's as much repeat business.
Fair.
There's a lot of people that came out that are out in weeks 1, 2 going, what did I do?
Right.
It's just harder and harder and harder. Then you don't watch football for.
But they may go into millions,
2.
though. They may go and do millions.
Maybe.
Like, okay, if I'm here,
I don't know.
How much to play? It's $1,000, Flood.
Yeah. $1,000 an entry. Each individual can buy up to 10 in the Survivor.
Hedge a week and then sell.
Do that too. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to attack this. Dakota Jayhawk. Sorry. You're right. There's people hedging different options now. So,
let's get to tonight. Saints host the Broncos. Broncos are road favorites. Laying 3, totals 37. Do you have any idea what to do with this game with 2 rookie quarterbacks, injuries, 1 bad defense, 1 bad offense, and just a brutal game in prime time?
Nope.
Yeah, right. Nope. It's like what? No clue. Home teams are just 36 and 47 against the spread on Thursday Night Football since 2019. So be careful with the Saints tonight if you're gonna back the Saints tonight. Road teams haven't played well, but you want to back Bo Nix? I don't.
Saints are caca.
Well, they're just so hurt. I mean, I don't think they're caca. I think they're actually brutalized with injuries on both sides of the football. There's so many injuries that they're dealing with right now. It's bad. Road favorites 12-0 against the number last 2 weeks in the NFL. That's the most since the merger. Does that continue here into week 7?
How many do we have?
For road favorites,
Bengals 1. Eagles 2.
The Broncos are 1, so 3.
And Broncos 3. And Ravens and Chargers both on Monday night.
Jets on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, they're favored now. What a joke. Good luck with that.
So there's
5, 6. Okay, with the Jets flipped. Yep, 6. Does it continue? No.
Road teams fall this week.
3-3.
Okay. Public games, 51% of the tickets. 10-3-1 ATS last week. Public week or book week? Revenge coming back. First 5 weeks was brutal on the public. They finally got a great one.
Yeah, they did.
Last week.
A lot closer to the middle this week. It's just too many games that it's just too.
Coin flip.
Well, no, like the 5s and the 6s, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Just scan it down real fast. So we got a 3, another 3, 5.5, 5.5, 9.5, 3, 3, 1.5, 3, 6.5.
It was like that last week, though, and the public cleaned up.
Yeah, the 3s were all wrong. The odds makers didn't know. I mean, that happens. How can they be so wrong? They're always so right. They're not always so right. It's a good week. I mean, more than not is one thing. All is another. Like right. all. That's an O. Like they all won.
Yep.
That never happens. Like you're talking about, since 1970.
The merger.
Happened.
Yep.
Like I was born in 1970. That's 54 years. That's crazy.
12-0 last 2 weeks.
Can't happen again.
Road favorites. The Jaguars are now laying 5.5 to the Patriots. We'll have more in this game tomorrow with Fitzy and Emerson Latzia from DK Sportsbook. Teams favored in London have gone 31-16 ATS and 35-11-1 straight up. Jacksonville going to London and beating the Patriots. They looked awful last week.
Win but don't cover, right?
That would be embarrassing. They win, don't cover. They should kill the Patriots. Drake May had an MRI yesterday on his knee. He may not play. He may not play. That's why this number tells you that he's not playing.
Oh.
It's going to be Brissett.
Oh, it's an under.
Well, it's just ugly everything. Just a disgusting. The next two games in the NFL are awful. Saints, Broncos, Patriots, Jags, just absolutely awful.
Standalone games, baby.
Awful. Mahomes and the Chiefs are dogs to the Niners. Well, the numbers say don't fade Mahomes in this situation. Mahomes is 11-1-1 as a dog against the number 10-3 straight up. He's the best quarterback in the Super Bowl era. A lot of injuries on both teams, however. Niners need it. Saints, the Chiefs don't.
Didn't we just see this in the Super Bowl?
Yes, but different teams, dramatically different teams. For both, dramatically different. This is the biggest stay away game of the week for me. I want no part of this game.
Be people on both sides of this. This will be one that, there'll be sharp guys laying it. There'll be sharp guys taking it. This will be great. It's a 3-game afternoon window on Sunday. Vegas, Raiders and Rams, Carolina and the Commanders, or the Chiefs and the Niners. Who in the world is going to watch either one of those other two games? I mean,
fans of those teams, that's it.
Not even fans of those teams are going to watch those games.
Right.
Let's be honest and real. Vegas and the Rams is a 6.5-point spread. Washington and Carolina is an 8-point spread. And then, oh, by the way, you have a rematch of the Super Bowl, Chiefs and Niners. So,
yeah, seven morning games, only 3 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Bye weeks. It's
bye weeks and then London games, and it flips all this stuff around. It will feel like the Super Bowl on Sunday. I don't know. I don't know who I like yet. Who's the chat voting for? Give them a poll on the way out. Kansas City or San Francisco? Who wins? Vote in the poll. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I forgot to remind you guys at the beginning. We're stagnant right now with the growth. We need more people to see the show. I don't know how to do it. If you guys know how, I've had people tell me they know how, but then nobody wants to really say how. Right. So we could grow that. Do it.
Vote. Jets are now favored against your Steelers Sunday Night Football, but you should feel pretty good about this if you're a Pittsburgh fan. The Jets and the Giants are 4-31 straight up in prime time since 2019.
I'm watching this line just go. They're
That's
running
insane.
away with this. The Jets are the Jets might be a field goal favorite by the end of this.
All because
the
of one
problem with
all
all
one
of
guy.
It, what?
All because of one guy?
No, it's because of two guys.
But Rodgers and Devontae?
No.
Who's the second one?
Russell Wilson.
Starting? I don't know. What's the difference?
How about this Machiavellian move? We're going to change quarterbacks this week. Or are we?
Right. They're not going. I don't think you're going to.
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to play Russell Wilson. I think
Fields stepped up to the microphone today and owned it. Like,
if I play better, there's no controversy.
I want that guy on my team. I want to play for that guy. Whether he's playing this week or not, they must know something in that building. To just be talking about this and putting out the footage of Russ, rolling out at practice and doing all this other stuff. I mean, this would be tremendous if this is all just, sorry, Will, it's the end of the show. Bullshit. Like, this would be amazing. I don't want to give anybody too much credit, because Dan Lanning pulled a move and they changed the rule the next day. You cannot do what he did ever again.
You can do it. Just don't say it. What are you doing announcing it? You can't tell everyone, well, I did that. That's what we did to kill the clock. That's what we did. Like, what are you doing? Don't tell him. Just what? Like, that was a huge mistake by Dan Lanning. You guys missed it. The Oregon head coach admitted what he did to basically make the game go faster for Ohio State to burn the clock.
Unbelievable. What a move. We put the guy out there. We knew we were going to take a penalty, but we got 12 guys out there. They ain't going to complete a pass more than 5 yards. But it takes 5 seconds off the clock. And now they can't do anything else. So, I mean, if this move by Tomlin and the Steelers is we're changing quarterbacks this week. They went and got Devontae Adams. We went and got Russell Wilson. We don't know. Maybe not. It's crazy.
It is wild.
The line is being bet like the Jets already won the game.
Right.
It's over. Just like the Yankees. Yankees, I guess, is over.
That is over.
Watch us out.
That is over. Don't think the Jets game.
Come on, Guardians.
That is over.
Get us out of here.
Guardians, great
Can't
season.
win today.
They can, but not win the series. They can win today. Oh, thanks, Marcel. Drake May was a full participant. Okay. The MRI was negative. Okay, so he's going to play. All right, that's good. We'll get more into that tomorrow. If you guys are watching on the replay, you really want to come watch live tomorrow if you can, because it's going to be awesome. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. We're going to go to Boston. We're going to talk to Emerson Lotsia, talk to Fitzy, London, Jacksonville. swear words, go bet the over on the swear words between
Dear Lord.
Emerson and the number of phallic male references to themselves and other people. Bet the over.
All of it.
When it comes to those two.
He'll bring it out, but he won't just leave it. You know what I'm saying? He'll pull it out
and show it.
He might.
He may show it. He showed his shirt once. Well, I mean, I guess Dubsy's the only one that ever took his shirt off, right? We haven't said he's the only one that's taken the shirt off on the show so far.
Yes.
The rest of you guys who are live, stick around. Bonus time starts now for you. The rest of you will see you tomorrow for BBB. All right, you guys who stay, you guys are getting MRI was after practice. So he practiced and then went to the MRI. So maybe he's not okay. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hockey, you guys who stayed, you guys get hockey talk out of us. NHL, 4 games all went over last night in the NHL. So we're seeing some early season offense. Defense is not great. Goaltending is not very sharp. The Penguins are now 3-1-1 to the over. Malkin became the 48th player with 500 goals. Crosby became the 10th player to record 1,600 regular season points. What is your outlook for the Penguins besides just record-breaking performances like this all year?
So I did not watch the game.
I watched it
full, but I watched it in pieces and then saw the post game and saw the clips and everything else. I don't know. One, as a fan, I want them to relive the glory years one more time.
Okay.
Like I really hope that they find a way to make the playoffs and get like a serious shot at just a nice run in the spring. Not under any illusions that this team is going to win the Stanley Cup as constructed right now. But man, that was fun. Like Sid is such a machine. Just do what he does, seeing what he does, how he does it. And then I love Malkin. I loved Malkin the day he showed up. I've always been a Malkin guy. And so to see Gino get that accomplishment and then, the locker room be excited for him after. I mean, you don't see this a lot of times. The whole bench emptied when Malkin got his goal. So it's something to it. Yeah, the guys on the team, they all. I mean, it feels like they're a team.
Right.
They just got to get a goalie.
You don't have a goalie.
Gotta get a goalie. Like it's important to stop the puck. It's great to score, but you need a goalie.
It's true. Tonight, Rangers at the Red Wings. Total of 6.5. Rangers are 2-0-1 on the year. A lot of road favorites tonight.
What a board.
Yeah, good board for hockey. Mm-hmm.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
This would be an absolute joy as soon as these baseball playoffs get me less distracted. There'll be plays all over this thing.
Corpusala. I agree. Get him out of Boston. He sucks.
I don't want that guy either. I don't need that guy either. There's not. No. I need a guy that stops the puck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good game. Surprised the Rangers are. Well, it's down to 140.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Red Wings are alive in the spot, but the Rangers are one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, give me the Rangers. Stars are laying 150 against the Capitals tonight. Total 6.5. Dallas
Stars will find a way to win an ugly game, right?
Stars are the best team in hockey.
Stars will find a way to win an ugly game. This might have to be an overtime, 4-3 win, 3-2 win, somewhere right around there.
Yep.
Stars is the side.
Agreed. Oilers, Preds. There's one win between these teams through 7 games.
This game.
I agree.
This game is
over.
I mean, maybe, but this is exactly what Edmonton needs, right? Like we had to get away from home. First road trip. Let's get on a plane. Let's figure this out. Like we gotta. I don't know. My first thought would be to take Edmonton, but how do you bet on a team that's lost the way they've lost and how they've lost and the amount of goals they've given up?
And the Preds have no wins.
Right.
Preds are 0-3. All you people bet the Preds to win the cup. I know it's early, but not a good start. That is a weak start for them.
Yeah, before you start going and saying they can't win the cup, relax.
No, of course it's October, but Long way to go, but the Preds are not a good start at all for the Predators.
It's all bad start.
Offense tonight. Skinner couldn't stop a beach ball. Yeah, it's true. He really has not been good. And there's our Oiler fan. So, yeah, over in that game. Vegas on the road at the Lightning. Pretty big dogs.
Right?
Total 6.
Oh, I don't know. This is going to be fun tonight on Sports Grid. Casey's a former Lightning pregame, postgame
Okay.
person, so this will be fun. This is Lightning for me. I don't know. They start the West Coast team sometimes on the East Coast. They start like the Flyers start out west in Canada and stuff. These are hard road trips. These are they're tough when you're trying to figure out line mates and who things are. It's maybe a little more okay for veteran teams like the Knights. Have we confirmed the goalies?
No.
Part of the issue with the hockey right now, getting the goalie information when we do the shows, it's tough.
That's why it's on my watch. I have the text alert the second I've got that Twitter account that posts just starting goalies.
Right.
And I have it fed to my watch. So it's absolutely when I saw Corporal Sala last night for the Bruins, I go, I made the right call by taking the Bruins team total.
Right.
Yeah, but not I was gonna bet the Bruins. I was
petrified. Yeah.
I was gonna bet Bruins to win the game. Now they won the game, but if I was on money line, I would have been petrified. I was on team total over 2.5 and 3.5. It was a fade on Georgiev, but Corporal Sala playing for the Bruins. I was like, oh God, thank God I didn't play that because he played the under. Good luck.
Did Brandon Rincon just come in and chat and say Freddie Freeman's ruled out tonight and Yamamoto starting in Queens? Freddie Freeman's not going to play. I mean, he can barely walk. Wow. I don't know.
Well, Yamamoto was always starting. He was always
starting. I know that. Yeah.
But Freeman, I mean, they may not need him. Give him a couple of days off.
What are you talking about?
They may not need him.
Run, and he's in there. He made 3 scoops yesterday at first.
He did.
It was amazing defensively, and then he got 2 hits.
Yeah, but maybe it's Hill versus Vasilevsky.
He got to be in pain.
Rosman.
Oh, it is Hill? Okay.
Aiden it's a good goalie for Vegas. Okay, let's get into Bet It or Book It here because we don't need to talk about the game. We could just do it in Bet It or Book It. All right, let's roll into the game. I only have 2 plays on the game. I'm not touching the side. I'm not touching the total. Kamara, anytime touchdown. I know it's public. Everyone's doing it, but who the hell else is scoring?
Plus money?
No, it's even money.
It's not bad.
I don't know. I have no other way of betting on the Saints but taking Kamara to score.
I can't even list like 2 other people.
Yeah, it's maybe one of the tight ends. Maybe Rattler gets in running the football, but they score touchdowns tonight, more than one. Kamara's getting one of them.
Right.
That's it. Bo Nix, anytime touchdown. Sorry, that should be ATD, not ATS. on that.
Oh, Nix?
Yes.
Oh, this is a book it.
Rush.
I like the Kamara one. This is, wow. You think he's going to run one in?
That's all he's been doing is running in the second half. He's running a ton.
Yeah.
He just, and they have him sneak all the time.
Right.
In the end zone. They don't have a running game. He's their running game. So Bo Nix in the red zone, just have him run and dive at the pylon, see if he can get in to score. It's 2-1. So I was like, why not? Go ahead and throw a dart at it.
Wow. All right. I mean, I'll book it.
Virginia Tech tonight at home against Boston College. I laid 7 at 7.5 now on this one. Total's 48.5.
What time does this game start? I'm actually excited to see the
7:30, I think.
I'll be on the air. Damn it.
This is such a better game than the NFL game. Like, if you don't want to put on Amazon Prime, you just want to watch it on your other stuff. This is such a better game.
This is one of those nights, man. I mean, this is like between
it's
the hockey.
8.5 now. Oh my, big move on Vatek. Woo!
Let me hit refresh here. Hold on.
Okay, I laid 7 last night.
Yeah, Vatek's got to be the side.
They're 4-1 straight up, 4-1 ATS when they've had 10 or more days of rest. They've played since October 5th.
I don't know. Circa's 8.5.
Okay.
Everyone else is 8 and 7.5.
Fish Killer's
Somebody
at the
just
tailgate
decided.
watching us.
Oh, I was supposed to get a hat done for that guy. Damn it, Fish Killer. I got to get
He's
to
going. He's good. He's at the game. I'm
Damn
trying to see where he posted, but he said, Matt, you better not be wrong.
Right?
Vatek laying 7. I think
My
they win.
apologies.
And then finally, Stars money line tonight.
That's a bet.
That number now is 150 for the
It's going
Stars.
to make you sweat, though. That's a bet, but it's going to make you sweat.
right.
I only hope they win 4-1.
Ottinger got paid today.
Who?
Ottinger, Jake Ottinger, goaltender for the Stars.
What'd he get?
8 years, $66 million.
Oh.
They took care of him.
Oh, so they locked him up. Wow.
This guarantees it's going to cash now, Ross. I love when people do that.
Give me BC all day, Ross Rendell.
I faded him once before, and you were right. I was wrong, but I don't think this is the time. Going to that building on Thursday night, Blacksburg is a really hard place to play, and that Vatek team destroyed Stanford before their bye. They have a lot of talent on that team. They just really underperformed their first couple of weeks. They could have beaten Miami. I mean, if you defend on which side of the aisle you're on that Hail Mary, they would have beaten Miami. So, oh wow, Tony Bennett's retiring.
Wow,
Virginia before the season. Now they're scandal. That's a scandal move. Something bad happened. Bad.
Oh no,
that's bad. What
they did it before?
You're walking now?
Did it?
You're walking now? The year starts in a week.
Well, you couldn't come to terms, and you had enough with this NIL. Who knows?
Oh my, Tony Bennett. That's brutal. I agree.
Wow,
that's brutal. Whew. In October.
That's tough.
That's scandal. Look. That's scandal. That's scandal. Something happened. Somebody somewhere. It may not come out publicly, but somebody came out and found something they weren't supposed to on Tony Bennett and said, "You're walking. Goodbye. Leave." Interim. Jesus, if you have futures on Virginia, I'm sorry, they're all dead. Whew.
Yeah. Hopefully not health related. That's true.
Cubby said, "I'm on the phone right now." Wow. Cubby's gonna go try to investigate what the hell just happened. Favorite thing about today is what?
So the memories of the baseball. I mean, the Kevin Millar quote is so good. The Pirates winning the World Series on this day, both in '79 and in '71. Awesome. Saw some great Bob Prince interviews in the dugout, and they're in the clubhouse after, and all this other stuff. But one of the things that came up was this NFL Films, unbelievable John Facenda, like 20-minute thing that this guy Kevin Gallagher posted, who I got to find a way to get in touch with Kevin Gallagher. I want to have him come on the show and talk to him about why he's just taking it upon himself to retweet these unbelievable NFL Films compilations. But John Facenda they called him the voice of God. This is like a behind the scenes look. He was a weather guy in Philly. And they wrote these scripts with these big words and all this other stuff. And he used to just sit and voice them over. And then they put the highlights to it. And I'm watching it this morning going, this is why I love football. I loved football, and I loved playing it when I played it. And I lived next door to Jack Ham, and so, I mean, I had a different type, but I loved football because of these films and these highlight tapes and the music set to the slow motion and John
Autumn Wind
talking about,
the Autumn Wind is a Raider.
All of that. And it brought me back to being a kid again and loving it. And it had nothing to do with the bet. It had nothing to do with the, who's going to score the first touchdown. And it's like, that's what we do now. But we talk about that love and joy for the sport and for the game. It rekindled it all this morning. That was my favorite thing about today.
So tonight, if you are outside, the 2024, tonight will be the largest supermoon of the year. It's going to be gigantic tonight when you go outside. The Earth will be as close to the moon as it ever will be. That's 222,000 miles away. Sometimes the universe just winks at you. So 2 is one of my numbers. 222, 222,000. October 17th, 2022. The day my divorce became finalized.
Oh.
2 years ago today.
Oh,
Sometimes the universe just kind of winks at you and just says, hey, I got you. I started laughing hysterically today when I was like 222,000 miles, the largest moon of the year. On October 17th, 2022 was when my divorce became finalized. It's like that was the day you and I were in the lot. We were in the parking lot going into Betfred, and I showed you my phone. I said, we're done.
I almost started crying. I was so happy. I was so happy. I really was. I was so happy.
I was like, it's over. It's over. Sometimes. And the fact that it's 20 years to the day that the Red Sox had the greatest moment in the history of Red Sox baseball. That moment happened 20 years ago. Today, 20 years, another wink. Sometimes the universe just winks at you. You just got to go like, okay, I got you. I appreciate it. Good signs to go to the cardiologist.
No, that's all good signs. Yeah, no, that's great.
Go and have my heart get looked at. So tomorrow's show is going to
mention, by the way, Sonic left us a 5.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
For a super chat. It said, I'm not sure if it's on the rundown, but what happened 35 years ago today?
I don't know.
35 years ago today was what? 1989. I thought when I saw that before and I saw it flash by quick, it prompted me for the pirate thing, which was 1979. So I don't know what happened today in 1989. Oh, was it the World Series with the earthquakes?
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say 89 was the earthquake between Dodgers and the A's.
No, Giants
and the A's. Sorry, Giants and the A's in the Bay Area.
I'll never forget watching that.
I
was a huge A's fan. Battle of the Bay. Wow. That was time passes. That's the fun thing about sports too, is that, we can refer back to time, and like you talking about never watching a game. Did you ever watch another baseball game with that ex-girlfriend?
Yes. So what we did was we ended up watching. We didn't watch game 1, 2, or 3 of the World Series. We watched game 4 together. I was like, fine. I was like, we've gone 6 straight wins.
Right.
We're gonna win it. We now can watch it together. So we watched game 4 together when the World Series happened. But I didn't watch any game until it was like finito and done. That I had to watch 6 straight wins by myself before I was comfortable going like, okay, fine. Now I can watch with you.
Makes perfect sense. And if it doesn't make perfect sense to you, you just don't get it.
Right.
Like I've had to have those discussions. It's not
normal. It's fine.
It is normal in our world. Like
in our world, yes.
Yeah, right. You got to go just.
Yeah.
I got up, by the way, and saw the moon this morning.
Yeah.
I had to make a call this morning at 5 a.m, our time, 8:00 Eastern. The moon was gigantic last night. You mean to tell me it's going to be bigger tonight?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tonight's the biggest supermoon of the year. 222,000 miles from the Earth. That's where the moon will be. That'll be the biggest. It looked like everyone. My mom was like, "The moon looks fake. Go look at the moon." I was like, "You're right. It looks fake. It looks like someone just stuck a sticker on the screen on your screen, which is the sky.
Right.
It looks too big."
Wow.
So,
all right.
Back tomorrow, guys. We'll have 3
Big
guests:
day.
Pittsburgh, Boston, Fitzy. We'll have Emerson. It's going to be an absolute shit show on Roll Call Friday. You guys are going to want to be there.
Boy.
Hope to see all of you. Dave, Matt, back tomorrow for RCF.